What's up YouTube, it's your boy Young Philip and I'm back with another video for y'all today. And before we get started with today's video, I'd like for y'all to click the like button down below, give it a thumbs up, and make sure y'all click the subscribe button, but make sure y'all click the bell so you can be notified, don't miss any of my videos. Today's movie review day, and I'm going to start the first movie review off with one of my iconic movies of all time, and it's Notorious, the 2009 movie. So without further ado, let's begin. The movie Notorious starts off on March 8, 97, where Biggie is at a party and the party ends and Biggie is about to get shot and killed. But we end up flashbacking to his childhood, where he went to a Catholic school during the time when he was a kid. And then he ends up reunite with his father, and he somewhat didn't like the presence of his father for being gone for a very long time. So his mother wasn't gonna put up with his father's BS. She's like, it was easy to lie about your wife, but when it comes to your child, things are complicated and either up and left. Then Biggie decides, when he was younger, he was known as Christopher. But he ends up starting to sell drugs and whatnot. He's like, motherfuckers got addicted to crack after they first hit. And I got addicted to money after my first sale. And by the time he was 17, he was no ordinary kid. He was getting paid. By the time he got to high school, man, oh man, he was rolling in dough, getting that money, getting his paper. And then one day he got kicked out of class because of his smart mouth. And then his girlfriend Jan informs him that she's pregnant with his child. So he got to sell drugs to try to support his brand new baby that's coming into the world and whatnot. And then he even went as far as to participate in a rap battle, which he won in, after defeating the one dude that been calling him out for a rap battle for some time. And then after that scene, his mother found a little letter from the school saying that he hasn't been attending school for the last 20 days. Because she's like, in the last month you missed 20 days of school. And then he's like, alright, look, I chopped my... And then she gave him the, please tell me you're not finna give me this bullshit ass excuse right now. Cause I don't got time for the excuses. But, yeah. And then she was shocked to hear him say that Jan was pregnant and he about to be a father. And then she's like, she sick and tired of cleaning up old mashed potatoes underneath his bed. No, they were not mashed potatoes. Big ended up telling her that was not mashed potatoes. And she's like, are you telling me? Well, I think you're telling me. So therefore, not only she put him out for finding drugs underneath his bed, but she also put him out for skipping school. In real life, Biggie actually dropped out of school at the age of 17. And then he continued to sell drugs. Then he ended up getting locked up for for possession of weapons and drugs. And then he ended up doing some time in jail and whatnot. And then his daughter was born. After he got out of jail, he went to go record a demo called Microphone Murder, which ends up coming into the hands of Sean Combs, before he was known as Puffy or P. Diddy, like you know him as now. And he was like, you gotta let me know where it's the streets of the studio. And then he ends up meeting Lil' Kim, but she somewhat refused to quite get into like a relationship with him because of her abusive past. But I ain't gonna lie, or I'm better yet, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Fun fact, Lil' Kim was not a little bit happy about the movie Notorious because they try to make her backstory like they try to make it seem like she was like jealous of the fact that Faith Evans was married. Like she wasn't jealous and shit. Like she still loved Big. And she wasn't down for that. But anyway, let's keep going. Puff ended up meeting with Biggie one day. He ends up informing him that he got fired from Uptown Records. And Big was really upset about this. And he was walking with his homie D-Rock. It was like he thought he had a deal and he can't even buy diapers for his daughter. And then he tried to sell drugs. What they didn't notice was a dark color cop car, undercover cop car, parked, excuse me, nearby. As soon as they heard the siren, they took off running. Biggie almost got away, but he slowed down, like in an alley, because the cops was coming through the other way too. So him and D-Rock got took in for questioning, and then when he was in the interrogation room, that cop said, "Okay, dumb fucks. One of you is going down for carrying an illegal firearm, whichever it is, I don't give a shit. But the two of you will not be walking about here." So D-Rod decided to take the fall for Big so Biggie could pursue his rap career, which he technically does. He performs at the college Puff went to, which was Howard. He performed Party and Bullshit. He became friends with Tupac and whatnot. And then Biggie goes to a deep depression when he finds out that his mother has breast cancer, which she survived from. And he ends up getting a $60,000 check, and he ends up being part of Bad Boy. He decides to record his debut album called Ready to Die, which ended up becoming a big success for not just Biggie, but Bad Boy itself. And at his album release party, he tells his friend Tupac to watch who he watch who he hang around with out there in New York. And then Biggie meets Faith Evans, and boy, oh boy, it's like when you see them two, it's like love at first sight. After shortly meeting each other, they end up getting married. And then there's the studio scene where Lil' Kim was starting to wild out on Biggie while she was recording her song off her first album. And Big had to talk some sense into her. Like, he ain't like beat her or nothing. He was just like, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" And then, like, "She's my wife. Someone's ass that got took out of department stores. Ain't that what you wanted?" He was like, "Look, this fucking recording studio ain't big enough for all that personal shit." And then he was like, "Do that song. Do the song right." And then Biggie went on tour. He performed in songs like Warning and Juicy. And then while he was on the road and whatnot, he was like, he didn't want his wife calling his hotel room because somebody was going to be borrowing his hotel room. And then she ended up putting two and two together. She's like, "Oh, something don't feel right." So she had called somebody to watch her child while she went out. And then she went to the hotel that Biggie was at. She put her hand over the peephole, knocks on the door, and then a female answers the door. She was like, "Yes." She said, "Housekeeping?" "No, thank you." And she wants to hear what she said through the door. And as soon as she opened the door, Big was in the bed with the side chick. And that's when she, boom, bust her damn head to the white meat. Actually, no, I'm just bullshitting. I'm just playing with y'all. She just whooped her ass, and that was about it. And then that's when Faith recorded a song called "You Used to Love Me," and it's on her debut first album. She ends up taking Big back and whatnot. That's what she ended up doing. And then Junior Mafia went on tour. They ended up performing a song called "Get Money." And then Biggie is achieving a whole lot of success throughout all of this, man. And then he hangs out with Pac one last time, and they play pool together. And then that's when we go to November 30th, 1994. Tupac comes to the Quad Studio. It wasn't to come see Big. He was going to do a record for somebody else. Lil C's tell Big that Pac is downstairs. C's went to go, and another Junior Mafia member went to go get him. As soon as they in the elevator, all they could hear is like gunshots, and then they open the door. The elevator door opened, like boom, and all of a sudden, it was one guy point a gun to Tupac's entourage, and then the guy that was by Tupac, probably the one that shot him, just kicking him, took his jewelry, like they took the watch off him, and they was like, "Yo, get that motherfucker back in the elevator." And then they dude turned around and told both Lil C's and get back in the elevator, point the gun in the face, and then C's was like, "Yo, Big Pac's downstairs, he getting rolled on, man. They got the gun in my face, I'm doing everything. I'm still down. They still down there." He said, "Let me come with you, man." He's like, "Don't move." And then Pac already going up in the elevator. He ends up going to where Puff was at. And Pac was bleeding out the head and whatnot. And then as soon as Big get downstairs, Pac bandana was covered in blood, or probably next to the blood and whatnot. And then NYPD showed up at right after it happened. And Pac quickly accused Puff and Big for supposedly setting him up in the studio. And Big denied those allegations slash accusations. Allegations slash accusations. But anyway, Pac ends up doing jail time for his sexual abuse charges that was brought against him since '93. And then at the 1995 Source Awards, Suge Knight went on stage and dissed Puffy. He was like, "Any artists out there that want to be artists, that want to stay a star, don't have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the records, dancing, come to Death Row." And then the whole crowd booed. I feel like he was about to set off a riot in Madison Square Garden that night. So it was like an East Coast, West Coast rivalry that somewhat got out of hand. Like, to this very day, I will blame the media for just keep on. And it's like, if y'all feel like this, say yes in the comments. But anyway, Pac ended up dropping a song called "Hit 'Em Up." Y'all should already know it's the most popular song of all time. He dissed Biggie, Junior Mafia, Puff, Mobb Deep, and a few others. But anyway, Big ended up seeing a magazine that was it was Pac and Faith Evans. It was Pac and Faith Evans in the magazine, and Big went to go confront Faith Evans about it, and that scared her half to death. Big damn near trying to kill her. And then Puff was like, "What was you thinking?" He said, "I wasn't fucking thinking. I just snapped her, alright? I want the truth." He said, "The truth was Pac's trying to bring you down to the gutter with him. But I signed the Clive David for $65 million, and you get $5 million, Big. Don't mess that up." So Faith somewhat just leaves him. She don't take him back this time because of what he did. And then, boy, oh boy, the '96 Soul Train Awards. While out in LA, Big receives a death threat from an unknown caller. And then outside, Pac end up confronting Big, and then a gun gets pulled out by Bad Boy Security, which forces both Tupac and Suge to leave right then and there. And after that, Big went to Sacramento to perform Who Shot You. No, not Who Shot You yet, but he played Give Me the Loot. Everybody started booing. They were showing signs of they rock with Death Row. We rock with Death Row. You on our turf, so we just gonna boo you. And then as soon as he played Who Shot You, the crowd got wild. Everybody stopped booing and started cheering. And he was like, he wrote this before Pac got shot up in the Quad Studio. And then here we go. After that scene, Lil Caesar sitting on the couch and he sees something flash up on the news, and it was Tupac getting shot in Las Vegas. It was 96 again. Then days later, Pac died, and Valletta believes that he was killed due to the rivalry. And she let it be known to him that nobody's invincible. Still feeling down and out about Pac's death. While Biggie was in a rental truck, him and Lil Caesar got into some car crash that shattered his right leg. And he ends up in the hospital. After spending time in the hospital, he ends up recuperating, and he is seeing his daughter and baby mama a whole lot often. And it's starting to hit 97 now. Biggie is ready to drop another album, and he wants to call it Life After Death. Before he prepares to go to California, his mother informs him that she doesn't want him to go out there in California because the hip hop world already dealt with the loss of Tupac, and California still don't got no respect for the East Coast rappers, and it was quite hard for West Coast rappers to go to the East because of what happened during the midst of the East Coast West Coast feud. But yeah, Big ends up going to Los Angeles to promote his album Ready to Die. Not Ready to Die. To promote his album Life After Death. I'm really fucking up right now, but I don't really care. But yeah, he got tattooed on his left arm right here. I think it was like the song 23, 4. I'm completely confused right now about how it went, but yeah, he had got something like a verse from the Bible. But anyway, let's keep it going. He once again receives another death threat, and it's from a guy that was watching their every move in the dark color Impala. And then we go back to March 8th / March 9th, 1997, where Biggie is at the Peterson Automotive Museum, and he is partying, and they're playing his hit song Hypnotized. There's rumor that it was played like 8 to 10 times that night. And then the party got shut down by fire marshal due to overcrowding and the possible fire might start. And then he calls Lil' Kim and apologizes and wants to set up a meeting with her as soon as he get back to New York. But all that changes when everybody get in their Suburbans and they take off. Puff caught the light. He made a left off, and then big truck came to a stop. Lil Caesar was talking to some females on the sidewalk, and then like seconds later, late model Impala pulls up, like the 96 Impala pulled up right next to Big. It was a guy like by himself. He looked at Big and just started shooting. And then that's when the Impala made a right. Just kept going. Puff came back to see what happened, and then they decided to take him to the hospital, where he would sooner or later die from his injuries that same night. But days later, they end up holding a funeral for Biggie, where a whole lot of famous celebrities made made their appearance to pay their respects to Biggie. And then after that, they showed off like all the archive footage from Biggie's actual funeral. And then before the movie ends, Valletta Wallace was like, she said that her son's life got cut at the age of 24. Someone in the crowd had turned on the radio, and Biggie's song "Hypnotized" came on, and everybody just started getting wild. Excuse me. And that's the end of the movie. Biggie didn't live to see his second album sell 10 million copies worldwide. Yes, Life After Death sold 10 million copies worldwide. For those of y'all that never seen the biography movie for Notorious B.I.G., which is Notorious, I would gladly advise y'all to get the movie on DVD or download it off of Amazon Prime or find it on the internet, because the movie is a classic. That's movie of the year 2009. But I'd like to say thank y'all for tuning into today's video. Make sure y'all leave a comment, drop a like, give a thumbs up, and make sure y'all click that subscribe button, but make sure y'all click the bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Stay notified. And don't forget to add me on my Instagram at YoungPhilip_00. And don't forget to add me on Snapchat at Ryan361005. And don't forget to add my new TikTok at YoungPhilip00. And with that being said, I'm out.